For most people, surviving a plane crash would be the most significant and terrifying event of their lives. Not for James Hartley. He thought the crash was dramatic, sure, with the screams, the shaking, the chaotic descent, and finally, the sharp plummet into the dense jungle. James Hartley, a 35-year-old salesman from Chicago, had been on board a small charter plane heading to a business conference in Costa Rica. Things were going routinely when, without warning, the aircraft's engines started stuttering ominously. As gravity did its job, James found himself yanking at the safety belt, trying to prevent himself from jolting out of his seat. When James came to, he was hanging upside down in a harness, his head pounding, and his heart racing. The cabin was mangled, surrounded by the solemn, whispering shadows of the jungle. He miraculously emerged with minor scratches but stumbled upon a predicament that was utterly surreal. He dragged himself out, only to meet a group of people gathered around him. These weren't your usual rescuers with emergency kits and radios. They had the luminous energy of something otherworldly, their skin slightly iridescent, their gazes gentle yet deep. James struggled to comprehend what he was witnessing. They communicated not through words but through thoughts and emotions that pervaded through James's body like a melodic breeze. They hadn't come from any nearby village or rescue base, they came from far beyond Earth's grasp. As the days ebbed into weeks, these ethereal beings, who referred to themselves as the Hilari, began educating James on their perspectives. They believed that James's presence in the jungle wasn't just chance but destiny, his survival a key turning point for human and Hilari cooperation. The crash site turned into an impromptu haven, where James learned to communicate in their telepathic ways. He was shown visions of Earth's future, potential crises, and how humanity's choices would either spiral into chaos or lead to a harmonious coexistence. They chose him as an intermediary, someone who'd help plant the seeds for a collective consciousness ready to engage in interstellar dialogue. When the Real rescuers arrived, struggling through the thick foliage weeks after his disappearance, James appeared to them sun-kissed, healthier than anyone could imagine. He had returned, physically intact, but his perspective echoing the wisdom that the Hilari had bestowed upon him. Back home, James resumed his previous life, but with a silent resonance that changed everything he knew about the world. He became a quiet yet enthusiastic advocate for exploratory peace and unity, telling his story, all to those willing to listen. The plane crash was no longer simply a harrowing event but the guardian of a secret, strange, and beautiful truth that spoke of hope and interconnection across the universe. As his friends and family pondered his newfound aura and subtle wisdom, many listened with skepticism, but those truly open felt a shift in their core. Perhaps each life-altering event bears another waiting just beyond the horizon, ready to change the very foundation of one's reality. And for James Hartley, survival was just the beginning of embracing a wider universe.